Daniel has a $10,000 credit card balance. Every month, he receives a statement. And every month, one number seems to offer a simple solution, the minimum payment. Daniel pays it on time. His account remains current. The confirmation screen turns green, and for a moment, the problem feels smaller. But the debt is not disappearing nearly as quickly as Daniel believes. Under one illustrative repayment formula, this balance could remain with him for more than 22 years and generate approximately $19,000 in interest. Daniel is not a real customer. He and every person shown in this video are fictional animated characters created to explain how credit card repayment works. This is not individualized financial advice. We are giving you information so you can understand the trade-off hidden behind that small monthly number. Because the minimum payment does one job very well. It keeps the account current. That is not the same as getting you out of debt. Daniel did not spend $10,000 in one dramatic afternoon. First, his car needed an unexpected repair. Then came a dental bill. A family emergency required a flight he had not budgeted for. Groceries, gas, and several ordinary purchases filled the remaining space. Each charge seemed manageable by itself. Together, they became a five-figure balance. Daniel believed the minimum payment was a repayment plan, a number designed to gradually guide him toward zero. That is the misunderstanding at the center of the deal. A minimum payment is the smallest amount required under the account's terms. It is not a promise that the balance will disappear quickly or cheaply. The word minimum describes what the issuer requires. It does not describe what repayment strategy is best for Daniel. Let's examine a simplified example. Daniel begins with a $10,000 balance and an illustrative annual percentage rate of 24.99%. He makes no new purchases, pays on time and incurs no additional fees. For this example, the minimum payment equals the month's interest plus 1% of the principal, subject to a $35 floor. Real credit card formulas vary. This is not a universal formula or a claim about any particular issuer. In the first month, the interest is approximately $208. 1% of the $10,000 principal is another $100. That makes Daniel's first illustrative minimum payment approximately $308. $308 sounds substantial. But only about $100 reduces the original balance. The other $208 pays the interest charged for carrying that balance for another month. Daniel paid more than $300. His debt declined by only about $100. That difference is the mechanism you need to understand. The next month begins with a slightly smaller balance. That is progress, but it creates another problem. Because the required payment is calculated from the remaining balance, the minimum payment may also begin to shrink. The bill becomes easier to manage each month. Unfortunately, the attack on principal becomes weaker too. Daniel feels rewarded because the required payment is getting smaller. But a smaller payment does not necessarily mean the debt is disappearing faster. It can mean the opposite. Imagine Daniel walking toward an exit on a moving walkway. Each month, he takes a step forward, but the walkway slows beneath him. He is moving. He is following the rules. He is simply moving much more slowly than he realizes. The trick is not that the payment does nothing. The trick is that visible monthly affordability can hide the total time and cost of the deal. Continue the illustrative minimum payment pattern, and the $10,000 balance can survive for approximately 22 years. Daniel is 34 when he begins. He could still be making payments in his mid-50s. Over the full repayment period, he may pay approximately $29,000 in total, $10,000 in borrowed principal and roughly $19,000 in interest. The exact result depends on the APR, account formula, fees, payment timing, and issuer terms. But the principle is consistent. When payments decline with the balance, repayment can stretch across years that the borrower never imagined when making the original purchases. This is why the monthly payment is only part of the price. Time is part of the price too. This does not happen because borrowers are unintelligent. It happens because people naturally focus on what they can feel today. Daniel can feel $300 leaving his checking account. He cannot emotionally feel hundreds of payments that have not happened yet. A distant cost feels abstract. The amount due this month feels immediate. The minimum payment also acts as an anchor. It is printed clearly on the statement and placed beside the due date. Once Daniel sees that number, paying it can feel like completing the task. He paid what was requested. The account is current. Nothing dramatic happens. There is no alarm announcing that the debt may survive for decades. There is only another statement next month. Then another. Then another. The most expensive financial mechanisms are often not the ones that look frightening. They are the ones that feel comfortable enough to repeat. Credit card statements in the United States generally include information about minimum-only repayment. Look for the minimum payment warning. It can show how long repayment may take if you make no additional purchases and continue paying only the minimum. Statements also commonly include an estimated payment that could eliminate the balance in approximately 3 years. Most people look first at the amount due and the payment deadline. But the most revealing information may be inside the warning box below them. Look for 3 numbers: the estimated repayment time, the estimated total amount paid, and the 3-year payment comparison. That small box helps translate an affordable-looking monthly payment into its longer-term cost. We are not telling you which payment to choose. We are showing you where the deal explains itself. Now change only one behavior. Instead of allowing his monthly payment to decline, Daniel continues paying a fixed amount. Using the same illustrative $10,000 balance and 24.99% APR, a fixed payment of $300 per month would repay the balance in roughly 5 years, assuming no new purchases or fees. At $400 per month, the illustrative payoff period falls to approximately 3 years. Compare the 3 paths: a declining minimum, more than 22 years, a fixed $300, roughly 5 years, and a fixed $400, roughly 3 years. These are educational illustrations, not personalized recommendations. The important mechanism is that every dollar paid above the interest reduces principal. Reducing principal matters twice. It lowers the amount owed today and reduces the balance that can generate interest next month. For multiple balances, people often hear about the avalanche and snowball methods. The avalanche prioritizes the highest interest rate and generally saves more interest. The snowball targets the smallest balance first and can create faster psychological victories. Neither method changes the basic lesson: a repayment system only works when it is realistic enough to maintain consistently. Before deciding that a monthly payment is affordable, ask what that payment actually accomplishes. How much goes to interest? How much reduces principal? Will the required payment decline? How long could repayment take? What is the estimated total amount paid? If you carry a balance, read the warning box on the statement. Avoid adding new charges when possible, and compare the minimum with a fixed payment approach that fits your budget. If making even the minimum is becoming difficult, contact the issuer before missing payments and ask whether hardship options are available. A reputable nonprofit credit counselor may also help you understand possible paths. Be cautious with companies promising immediate debt forgiveness, especially when they demand large upfront payments. Information does not make the debt disappear, but it prevents a small monthly number from hiding the real terms of the decision. Daniel believed the minimum payment represented progress. More precisely, it represented permission to keep the account current without eliminating the balance quickly. The minimum is not automatically bad, dishonest, or useless. It simply answers a different question. It answers, what is the least I must pay under this agreement? It does not answer, what will this cost me in total, or when will I become debt-free? Those are the questions Daniel needed to ask. The next time a small monthly payment makes something expensive feel affordable, look beyond the amount due. Calculate the total cost. Check the timeline. Understand what the payment actually does. That is where the hidden price lies. This video provides general educational information, not individualized financial advice. Credit card terms and minimum payment formulas vary.